Is this the most unenjoyable job out there? Well, we got there in the end. 99% of the boards are all up. Just this little bit up here and a little bit in the corner. Get that done first and then we're on to taping and joining. Much prefer to be able to skim a whole wall, and I've done plenty of that in the past, and I think it gives a much more durable finish. However, it does mean that we would need probably about 20 bags or so to plaster this whole cabin, which if you add it up is 500, no it can't be 500 kilo, can it? 20 bags at 25 kilo, it's 500 kilo, that's half a ton of skim. So in theory, this should be a good way to go. Most of it is we've managed to position our tapered joins where we want them. We've got full height ceilings, so it means that these are just vertical strips to do. So ideally, all of our screws should be set below the surface of the paper or slightly so we can fill them, but a few of them just need a little bit of a tweak. You're like a little gangster.
Cold gangster. Innit? Can't even say that.
Is this the most unenjoyable job out there? Most likely, but we've got to do it, so let's crack on. Right, first up, a bit of a debrief. Phase 1, didn't really enjoy it that much. Partly because I don't think I got enough jointing compound on to bed the tape in, which meant that my second coat I was making up for the first coat, so I wasn't filling the tape up full on the first coat. But anyway, not the best lighting, I'm afraid, because I'm kind of focusing on the other end of the building. So first job was to get the joints taped, and that involves just getting the first coat on, bedding our paper tape in. Now you can use paper tape or you can use a scrim. Scrim is what you would use if you were skimming, but supposedly paper tape is, a lot of people were saying in the previous video, it's stronger or less likely to crack. I thought it'd be the other way around, but I've gone with that anyway. It's also far easier to get into the internal corners with that paper tape. So the internal corners, getting plenty of material on there first, giving it a bit of a smooth out, but not, leaving a fair amount of material there, creasing our paper tape and getting it in there. And you can do both walls at the same time. Usually when I'm skimming a wall, I'm needing to do one wall, letting it dry before I can do the second set, and then I can trowel up to that corner. You can do wet on wet, but it's never quite right. Whereas just the way that paper tape works, you can do wet on wet, and I've been using a corner trowel with a couple of swipes down, and it gives you a nice strengthened corner. I know a lot of tasks are not fun until you're kind of semi good at them, but there's so many stages. And I'm not saying I'm the best at plastering, but I'm pretty sure that I could have by now at least 3 rooms skimmed. Bearing in mind we're only doing walls, skimmed and ready for painting. Whereas, not even on the second coat on some of the rooms, and I haven't even done the first coat on this wall yet. The internal corners, I'll give you that. The internal corners are fairly easy to do and easier than skimming. Let's be productive though and give you some feedback on what I'm learning. One, get someone to do it, but no, let's stick to DIY. I've used 3 different products. Firstly, I didn't think I'd get through half as much material as I did. So I bought a bucket, or ended up buying 2 buckets of Gyprock Pro Mix, which is a pre-mixed, professional, supposedly, joint compound that you can use for all 3 coats, even the fine finish. I got through 2 buckets and they were 45 quid a pot. So I decided against that. And today I picked up, or yesterday I picked up a different one, which was essentially the dry version of that product. Mixed up really well, really smooth, and really happy with it. Today I picked up a North version, joint filler premium. Terrible. I've mixed and mixed and mixed, and admittedly I've only got the small little drill mixer there, but you just couldn't get those lumps to budge. Oh, well, I did in the end, but so that definitely would be a problem if I was on my 2nd or 3rd coats. Kind of the occasional bit in there that was dry, I was able to mix up on the Hawk and got away with it on the 1st coat, but I'm definitely going to stick with the Gyprock or British Gypsum stuff. Seems to be better. The paper tape seems to be fine. I'm happy with that. I thought scrim tape would be easier, but the paper tape goes on well, and actually it's kind of better, way better in the corners, and supposedly it's going to be a stronger join as well. I've ended up just using this, I think it's a 6-inch knife. And then anything wider, when it comes to the 2nd coat and 3rd coat, I'm just using my plastering trowel. I think it's 300mm, and that's just what I'm used to using. I know you can get these wider. I'm going to get a ladder to get those ones. I've mixed this up. The only difference between the dry mix and the ready mix, the ready mix you can stick a lid on and call it a day. Dry mix, you've mixed up a batch, you don't want to go to waste. I'm only an hour in or so, so I'm fine as far as usability, but I just need to use it so I don't waste it. So it does make you work faster, I guess. Right, we are finally at a point where we can do our final coat. Well, it might be the final coat. So this is coat 3, and we've only got a little bit of final coat worthy stuff here. The pre-mix bucket can be used for 1, 2 and 3 stages, whereas all the dry mix joint compound I bought says to use a finer finish for the 3rd. So we're just going to see how far we get. So we want to end up with about 300, 350, which I guess that looks about that. So we're not far off, it's just an extra 50mm or so beyond our 2nd coat, and we're just going to see how it goes on before it runs out, just like that. Oh, I didn't want any bits in it. Yeah, we're definitely going to run out. Alright, well that's terrible lighting, but I think that's about right. Oh, don't film around the socket.
People need to know the real.
The real podge.
How do we feel about plastering?
Do you know what you... Well, I don't mind plastering, but wow, if there's anything I'm going to pay someone to do, it's drywall. Crikey. What a tedious, drawn-out process. Do you know you can get these cool things that you put your socket box on here, fit in a blank plate, and then you can skim right over them, and then you cut it out afterwards. They look quite cool, and you can do them for downlighters as well. I think that's all right. So this was a butt join, so I'm going to fade it out quite a bit more. Otherwise we'll end up seeing a hump. Nobody likes a humpy wall. Right, we've picked up a bit of pace today. Joe and I have done the first coat on that end of the building, and now I'm on second coat on these two rooms. Then I might get around to the second coat on that end later on if it's all dried. What I'm finding is that the bagged filler, which I mixed up myself, dries a lot quicker, which is much easier to work with. It's not as smooth of a finish because it's meant for just coats 1 and 2, but that's fine, that's all we're on at the moment. Right, it's getting late and I'm suitably covered in plaster from head to toe. I'm going to leave it here. I was hoping to get to the third coat on this video just to show you the whole sequence of events. However, we've done everything now, just finished the last little external corner. We've done first and second coat. Last thing to do now is our final finished coat. Did you fall off the whole step? All right, step up on here, I'll help you. Daddy, do a really quick outro? Yeah, okay. Good girl. You're very brave. Right, little incident, I'm gonna leave it there. Next video is gonna be getting the finished coat on. Joe's just been out to pick up some easy fill. That's what we're gonna use for the last one. I've used it loads of times before. It's a really fine finish and easy to sand. So we're gonna sand everything before we do that coat, just to knock back any nibs that are left. You can have a laugh down in the comments. You know, some of us have, you just got a battle on. 4-bed house, it's taken us about 4 days. It's pretty rubbish, not enjoying it. You know, you pick and choose your battles next time round, and this is one of the ones to go on the delegation list. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself. We'll see you next time.